Happy Monday, everybody. Yes, it's Tracy getting back on track with Monday Musings. It's a new year, it's a new day, and a new opportunity to do more and be more. So today I will be talking about accepting people for who they are. This seemed apropos because one of the things I ended up doing for the end of 2018, was walking away from a few people who I actually had to accept them for who they are and realize that's not who I wanted to have around me. But on the topic of accepting people for who they are, this actually getting beyond what I just said, because I'll come back to that. But this goes into having friends in my life who tend to want to modify who other people are because they've decided who that person should be, who that person should behave like, how they should act. Well, in all honesty, that's no one's job to dictate who you are to be, because God created you to be a specific person. He has no duplicates in this world. Therefore, it's impossible for me or anyone else to look at you, a human being, and say, you're supposed to be this particular way. It's one thing to speak about morals and values and try to share that we should all try to live an honest life. We should all practice having good character and having good countenance, things like that. But when it gets into you're looking at a person like, you should be doing this with your life. Why aren't you playing basketball? Why aren't you working at so-and-so company? You should stop being an independent worker. You need to work for the government. Or you're not as amicable as I feel you should be. Or I'm going to make it tie into where we are right now, talking about the R. Kelly situation. And there are people losing friendships. There are people breaking all types of agreements with loved ones because they don't agree on where they stand on this situation. And when it all boils down to it, you have to look at that person who you're mad at and have to decide, am I mad at them for who they are, or am I mad at myself for expecting them to be different than that? And ultimately, it's the latter. We're mad at them because we expect them to be different. Like I said earlier, we would hope that other people have a different level of character, that they would practice a different level of honesty, things like that. That's natural for us to hope that of our fellow people in humanity, right? But sometimes that's not going to be the case. That's why there are people like an R. Kelly, or that's why there are murderers or rapists, or those who harm babies and elderly, because people are different. So you have to get to the place in your life where you say, you know what? I'm not going to fight the battle of who they are. I have to decide, how am I going to respond to who they are? That will free you from so much headache, from a lot of strife, and will give you a different level of peace because you've learned to accept only you can control you. That's it. One of the biggest lessons we learn in faith is God doesn't make anybody do anything, ever. He can compel us. He can draw us with love, things like that, but he doesn't literally make us do anything. And with that being said, we can't make someone do anything. Again, we can provide structure, we can encourage, we can share, but you can't make somebody be something, correct? Yes, correct. So, when you think about that old saying, when people show you who they are for the first time, believe them. That's the first step in accepting people for who they are. If they get angry fast, they're a person who gets angry fast. But you can't let that become your trigger, and now all of a sudden you're getting angry just as fast as they do. If they're a person who can be empathetic and cry about everything, and you're so sick of them crying about everything, guess what? That means you need to change your tolerance level on another person's emotional state, okay? So the Monday Musing, to get us going into 2019, accepting people for exactly who they are. If they're over the top, they're over the top. If they're not exciting enough, they're not exciting enough. They're boring, they're boring. If whatever it is, we all got a long list of things that we look at somebody and we wish they were different. Guess what? That's who they are. And ultimately, they're looking at you and wishing you were different. They're wishing you would stop being judgmental. They're wishing you would stop putting all of your ideologies on them. So it's a two-way street. So guess what? Release each other from that. Simply say, you are who you are. I love you for who you are. End of discussion. How about that? What a great way to interact with humanity. That would actually cut down a lot of hatred, and it would actually increase the love, because we just respect that God made all of us, and He made us beautifully and wonderfully different. Yes, I love it. Thank you all for joining me. It is my aim to do these at 8 o'clock on Monday. The slot I had was a little bit later, so we're going to move this up. And I'll do my best to be consistent, because this year has some great things coming along, and I look forward to sharing them with you. And remember, I love you for exactly who you are. Good night.